A strange feeling of silence envelopes you when you finally stop fighting a senseless war with your own memory. My name is Megan, and I am 75 years old. If you could look at a map of my mind from 40 years ago, you would shudder with horror. It was not an orderly garden or a cozy library. It was a scorched battlefield, littered with craters from explosions of anxiety, shrouded in smoke from unfulfilled fears. It was unbearably crowded and deafeningly loud. I tormented myself with thoughts about the mortgage rate on our house in Portland, as if the world's stock markets depended on the intensity of my anxiety. I replayed the opening of the exhibition in my head for hours, tormented by the question, did I come across as too arrogant to that critic, or did I smile politely enough at the patron? I could spend weeks mulling over a neighbor's casual remark that my roses looked tired, seeing it as a blow to my dignity as a housewife. I watched every new wrinkle around my eyes as if it were a personal defeat, and constantly wondered, was I moving too slowly toward success compared to people I didn't even respect? For 70 years, I was a professional worrier. I believed in a great, destructive lie, that if I suffered enough in advance and calculated every millimeter of my path, I could bribe fate and prevent disaster. Anxiety seemed to me to be a mandatory tax I had to pay for the right to a happy life. I thought peace was a reward that had to be earned by exhausting myself with fears. But today, sitting on the porch of my house in Cannon Beach and watching the Pacific Ocean indifferently wash away my footprints in the sand, I realized something that makes me want to both cry and laugh. None of it mattered. 99% of the monsters that kept me awake at 3 in the morning existed only in my fevered mind. And the 1% of real problems that did happen. Worrying didn't make them any easier to solve. It only drained my blood and robbed me of the strength to fight. I traded my peace of mind for a bag of acrid smoke. I gave away my living joy in exchange for lifeless shadows. Please, before you spend another night staring into the empty darkness of the ceiling, listen to old Megan. I want to show you how to stop feeding your ghosts right now, while you still have time to breathe deeply. The heaviest cobblestone in my backpack was the weight of their gazes. Not anyone in particular, but that faceless, cold collective eye. Neighbors on the street, colleagues at the gallery, random women in line at the supermarket. For decades, I polished my reputation like family silver, afraid of the slightest blemish. I wanted to be seen as flawless strong, a woman with impeccable taste and iron self-control. I bought shoes that crippled my feet just to elicit fleeting approval from people who didn't even look my way. I swallowed my true words and hid my sincere feelings, terrified of causing even the slightest ripple on the smooth surface of public opinion. I voluntarily locked myself in a cramped cage, the bars of which were forged from the expectations of others. But here's the truth, which burns with its simplicity when your skin becomes like the bark of an old oak tree. No one cares. Not at all. Every person on this planet is too deeply immersed in their own drama. Their pimples, their debts, their failures, and their reputation, to spend more than a second thinking about you. For 30 years, I tormented myself with thoughts about what my neighbors would think of the color of my curtains, until one day I realized, they don't even know the name of my dog, which they pass by every day. I wasted my precious, only freedom trying to please a crowd of spectators who simply did not exist in the room. Reputation is a ghost. It only lives as long as you believe in it and feed it with your energy. Don't let this ghost haunt you to your grave. Let go of the painful need to appear to be someone. Start simply being. When you stop posing for invisible cameras, you finally begin to truly breathe. I used to be a slave to an endless list of what-ifs. My mind worked like a broken weather device that predicted storms 24 hours a day, even on the clearest of afternoons. What if the economy collapses and my little gallery, into which I have poured my heart and soul, turns to dust? What if I got seriously ill, and there was no one left in this huge house to bring me a glass of water? What if my loved ones were disappointed in me when they found out how fragile I really was? I treated my life not as an exciting adventure, but as a besieged fortress surrounded by enemies. I was so busy strengthening the walls, filling every crack, and checking my supplies that I completely forgot to look out the window, where azaleas were blooming profusely at that time. I built a bunker where I should have planted a garden. And do you know what conclusion I came to at the age of 75? When real storms did come, and life is impossible without them, it consists of storms just like the ocean. They were never like the disasters I had so diligently rehearsed in my head. They always struck from the flanks, from blind spots, from where I did not expect them. Worrying is like walking around with a heavy umbrella open on a perfectly sunny day, just because you're afraid of a possible shower on the horizon. In the end, you'll still get soaked to the skin when the real squall hits, but before that, you'll miss out on all the warmth of the sun that could have nourished your bones with strength. I realized that I had survived every real tragedy in my life, and had only grown stronger. But I barely survived the anxiety itself, that quiet, insidious poison that sucked the life out of me for decades, robbing me of the joy of moments that should have been golden. Stop rehearsing tragedies that haven't happened yet. Don't pay huge interest rates on a loan of fear that you haven't even taken out yet. For a long time, I lived under the illusion that security was a commodity that could be bought for a certain amount of money. I was obsessed with checking my accounts, counting my retirement savings, and anxiously monitoring real estate prices. I firmly believed that there was a magic number on my bank balance that, once reached, would allow me to finally breathe a sigh of relief, relax my shoulders, and say to myself, "That's it, Megan, now you're protected. Now you can just live." I imagined this financial summit as a sun-drenched meadow where my anxiety would melt away. But this summit turned out to be an insidious mirage. I discovered a paradox that isn't written about in glossy financial magazines. The more things you have, the more reasons you have for exhausting headaches. At first, I was terrified of how to earn that money. Then I stopped sleeping, thinking about how to keep it, how inflation was quietly devouring my efforts, or how unkind people might try to take away what I had accumulated. At 75, I finally realized that enough is not a number in your checkbook, but the state of your own spirit. Now, in my little house in Cannon Beach, there is much less luxury than there was in my pompous mansion during my heyday. But I feel infinitely richer because I am no longer a slave to the desire to have more. Status symbols, heavy furniture, expensive real estate. In reality, they own me, not the other way around. They were cast iron anchors that kept me at the bottom, preventing me from seeing the surface. As soon as I unclenched my numb fingers and let them go, I finally found lightness and began to soar. Don't waste your best, most vibrant years building a mountain of things that cannot hug you in a moment of loneliness or warm your soul in the quiet twilight of life. For many years, I justified my constant nervousness by saying that I was an incredibly caring mother. I considered it my sacred, almost religious duty to worry about my children every second of their lives. I agonized over their grades, their questionable friends, their first broken hearts. I thought that if I worried enough, I could create some kind of energy shield around them that would deflect any blows of fate. I was convinced that my anxiety was the highest expression of love, irrefutable proof of my maternal devotion. But now, looking back from my 75-year-old vantage point, I see the bitter and simple truth. My anxiety was never a protection for them. It was an unbearable, suffocating burden. They didn't need a mother who was always fussing, checking their pulse, and predicting failure at every turn. They needed someone who could simply be there for them, here and now. They didn't need me to solve every problem before it arose. They needed to see me living my own life with dignity, calmness, and faith in the best. I was so frantically worried about whether they would get into the right college that I missed thousands of priceless opportunities to just sit with them on the carpet and build a castle out of blocks, without looking at the clock or thinking about the future. Today they are adults, successful people with families of their own. And you know what? They don't remember any of the things I worried so much about. But they do remember my perpetually tight lips, my distant gaze, and the invisible tension I brought into the room. They remember my stress, not my wise advice. Choose joy over control. Your ability to be a happy person is the most precious gift you can leave your children. It is the only kind of inheritance that will never lose its value. When you finally stop your mad dash toward the horizon, you begin to notice the world that has been humbly waiting for you, right under your feet all along. For decades, I was so absorbed in planning the perfect future that I became a complete stranger in my own present. I was like a tourist who views a majestic cathedral only through the tiny viewfinder of a camera, completely forgetting to breathe in the scent of incense, hear the echo of footsteps under the arches, and feel the coolness of ancient stone with my palm. I missed so many magical autumns in Oregon. I didn't see how the light changed on the needles of the coastal pines because I was frantically checking my work email. I didn't taste the food cooked with love at home because my brain was busy with the payment schedule for the next quarter. I often didn't hear my husband's laughter because inside me there was a chorus of voices reciting tomorrow's to-do list. At 75, you finally realize that life is not a final report on your achievements at the end of the year. Life is the taste of a juicy, sun-warmed peach. It is the singing of birds in the pre-dawn mist of Cannon Beach. It is the blissful feeling of fresh sheets after a hard day. For 80 years, I looked through these wonders, considering them only background noise that prevented me from solving serious problems. Don't be a tourist in your own life. Stop endlessly checking a map of roads that don't yet exist in reality, and finally start looking at the world that is breathing around you right now. Your time is the only irreplaceable resource you have, and every minute stolen by worrying about trifles is a minute forever taken away from beauty and love. I am 75 years old, and I have finally been able to identify the thief who has lived in my house with impunity for decades. His name was not difficult circumstances or life's misfortunes. His name was anxiety. He was the most cunning and sophisticated criminal I had ever encountered. He did not take appliances or jewelry from the house. No, he was far more sinister. He stole my time, second by second, turning the golden hours of my motherhood and my womanhood into lifeless gray ashes. He stole my physical health, forcing my heart to work overtime for nothing and binding my shoulders with an iron shell of tension. But worst of all, he stole my ability to love with all my heart. Because when your soul is paralyzed by fear of the future, you cannot give yourself fully to the present. I spent 7 decades exhausting myself with thoughts about things that are worthless today. Now, sitting on this porch, I realize that my time for anxiety is officially over. Not because there is less evil or fewer problems in the world. The economy is still fluctuating, and the ocean can be merciless. I am done with anxiety because I finally realized that worry is a false currency. It does not buy you security. It only robs you of the opportunity to enjoy the little you already have. When you feel that sticky, nauseating lump in your stomach again, that heaviness in your chest whispering that everything could fall apart, stop. Take a deep, honest breath of salty ocean air and ask yourself, will this matter at all when I'm 75 and sitting in this chair watching the sunset? If the answer is no, and trust my experience, in 99% of cases it is no, just unclench your fingers. Let it go. Free your hands from this burdensome dead nothing, so that you finally have room to hold on to what is truly real. Life in Cannon Beach has taught me many lessons, but the most important one came from the daily tides. Every evening, the ocean takes back everything that people have left on the sand during the day. Whimsical castles, deep footprints, random debris. And every morning, the shore greets the sun again, pristine and smooth. Our life is just like that shore. We try so desperately to build it up with our grand plans and heavy worries, terrified that the wave will destroy everything. But that is the great beauty of it. The wave must destroy everything to make room for a new, clean day. At 75, I finally stopped building meaningless fortresses against the ocean. I simply learned to enjoy the music of its waves. My time is now filled not with plans, but with a living presence. I watch the sunset and don't torment myself with thoughts about whether it will rain tomorrow. I eat an apple and don't count the calories or sugar in it. I hug my grandchildren and don't wonder what they will become in 20 years. I just feel the warmth of their little hands in mine. For 75 years, I was a tourist who studied the guidebook too diligently, afraid of missing the important sights pointed out by others. And only now have I finally decided to close the book and just look up. It turns out that the most important thing is not where you end up at the end of your earthly journey, but how often you smiled sincerely along the way. Don't wait until you're my age to start truly living. Start right now, with this very breath, with this very unique moment. Thank you for sharing this time with me on the porch in Oregon. If this story has helped you even a little to loosen the suffocating grip of anxiety and feel the true value of the present moment, please subscribe to our channel. We collect stories here that help the soul find peace and clarity in this crazy, noisy world. Like this video so that it can reach another tired soul who may be unable to sleep right now due to the weight of anxiety. Your support helps this light of wisdom spread further. And please share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me straight. What are you officially and irrevocably deciding to stop worrying about today? What shadow are you ready to let go of right now to finally make room for pure joy? I read every word you write, and your confessions make this shore a little warmer and brighter for all of us. Send this video to those you care about. Sometimes a simple, sincere reminder that everything will be okay is the best gift we can give each other. God bless you. Breathe deeper. Your life is happening right now. What will our next step be? I can create a table with visual prompts for 8 frames, Megan, Oregon coast, peaceful atmosphere. I can prepare catchy titles for previews in 2 languages. Or we can develop a new story with a different character.